Our invocation this evening will be offered by Tim Allison, chaplain of Illumicare Hospice. If you would please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear God, tonight as we gather as leaders, as we gather as those entrusted to lead this city, we ask that you would make us a people of kindness, a people of love, and a people filled with your divine wisdom tonight. May those two values weave in and out of everything that is said and done. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilmembers Huff.
Here.
Perkins.
Here.
Doherty.
Here.
DeLucy.
Here.
Robertson.
Here.
Van Camp.
Here.
Mayor Weir.
Here. Next on the agenda are citizen requests to address the council. Do we have any this evening, Madam City Clerk?
I don't see any.
Okay, thank you. So that brings us to our presentation resolution for our employee of the month. Is there, Madam City Clerk, will you please read the resolution?
Whereas the City Employee Recognition Program recognizes outstanding performance by employees of the City of Independence, and whereas the Employee Recognition Committee has selected Levi Stecker, pipe worker with the Water Department, as the Employee of the Month for March 2020.
Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmembers Huff.
No. I mean, yes. Just kidding. I've known him for a long time.
Oh my gosh, that was funny.
Perkins.
Yes.
Doherty.
Yes.
DeLucy.
Yes.
Robertson.
Yes.
Van Camp.
Yes.
Mayor Weir.
Yes. Well, to add to the comedy this evening, we normally have a little write-up on our Employee of the Month that they're so kind to give us information for. We don't have it tonight. I don't know where it is, but we don't have it up there. But so, Levi, is it your father-in-law, father that works for the water department? Pardon me? He works for Power and Light. I'm not going to, I could ask you to just come up here and tell us all about yourself. But I'm not going to do that. Suffice it to say, every month we have employees who just, are recognized for doing great things for our city. And it's a great honor. I mean, to be nominated by your peers and to be recognized. So I'm sorry I don't have some personal information to share about Levi tonight, but please join me in congratulating him as the March. Thank you very much. There you go. Meg will take your picture. Okay, this takes us to our consent agenda. Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor Weir, I move to approve the reports and recommendations of the city manager.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any items any council member wishes pulled for separate consideration?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
item 3.
Okay. Any others? Hearing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll on the consent agenda minus item number 3?
Councilmembers Huff.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Doherty.
Yes.
DeLucy.
Yes.
Robertson.
Yes.
Van Camp.
Yes.
Mayor Weir.
Yes. Councilmember item number 3.
Item number 3, Madam Mayor, is to authorize the city manager to amend our Cigna contract, which would extend the contract for a few additional years. And I wondered if we could have just a little explanation for the citizens.
Certainly. As the councilwoman noted, this is to extend our city's current health insurance plan with Cigna. Cigna was currently on board to provide our health insurance to both city employees and retirees through the year 2022. This adds an additional 2 years to carry that term through 2024. The renegotiation, though, does include several enhancements to the city's benefit. That does include a robust wellness program, so some additional dollars and resources to help the city expand out wellness. Why that's important, employees or their plan members, spouses, children, et cetera, sometimes need that additional assistance to help with chronic disorders, diseases, things of that nature that can be very expensive and cause employees to miss work or their children to have to miss school, et cetera. So these dollars that will help with that education, information, treatment, et cetera, will help us all in that regard. One of the other items I would highlight for the council's benefit, I know last year as we were discussing the retiree health insurance matter, there was concern about what that would do financially to the fund. In fact, because of the changes that were made there, the administrative costs associated with the Cigna plan are being substantially reduced in here. So again, that offsets the cost to both the city and all of our plan members. So good negotiation here, both by our city staff and the members of our Stay Well Advisory Committee. Good partnership with Cigna that's been a successful and solid one that we're able to extend for 2 more years with several additional benefits to all of our plan members.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Madam Mayor, I move approval of item 3.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmembers Huff,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
DeLucy,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Van Camp,
Yes.
Mayor Weir.
Yes. Item number 3 passes. This takes us to our second readings. Madam City Clerk.
Bill number 20-013, an ordinance acknowledging the city manager's authority to name the Director of Public Utilities pursuant to sections 3.14 and 5.13 of the Charter of the City of Independence, Missouri. Second and final reading.
Is there any discussion on this bill? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmembers Huff,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
DeLucy,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Van Camp,
Yes.
Mayor Weir.
Yes. Item number 20014, it requires a information-only public hearing, which was not posted, so we need to postpone this item till March 16th so we can schedule the public hearing. So I would entertain a motion to postpone 20014 to March 16th.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll on the motion.
Councilmembers Huff,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
DeLucy,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Van Camp,
Yes.
Mayor Weir.
Yes. And this takes us to our first readings.
Bill number 20-015, an ordinance authorizing a contract with Oikos Development Corporation, ODC, as a qualifying community housing development organization for the development of affordable housing, utilizing home program funds in an amount not to exceed $173,685. Bill number 20-016, an ordinance approving a rezoning from District C1 Neighborhood Commercial to District C2 General Commercial for the property located at 17515 East US 24 Highway in Independence, Missouri.
Okay, this takes, thank you very much. This takes us to council member comments. I will start on my right with Councilmember Doherty.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. 2 things. I was fortunate enough to get to go out to see a Comets game, or not Comets, but the Mavericks. I don't know why I said Comets. The Mavericks game Saturday, and they had the Lewisburg Jazz Band playing out in the concourse, and it was such a treat. They were absolutely fantastic. I would just love to see some more things like that, but those young men and women really were spot on. It was a great concert. Second thing, I've got a lot of people that are anxious to go out and see the little cabin when we have the open house to see how nice it's been restored. That'll be coming up on the 8th and again on the 29th. I would like for our citizens to have an opportunity to, while they're there, go and see the museum. It's open in the same time between noon and 4, and see some of the things they've done. We have a fairly new director there, and they've made strides with what they've got. So if any of my members don't have a problem, I would like to ask the city manager if they could just waive the fee for the citizens just for those 2 days, that they can also visit the museum while they're visiting the cabin.
Mr. City Manager, what's the admission fee to the National Front? I'm putting you on the spot. What's our, I assume we have a senior
We do have
discount and a
and-
student discount?
and a student discount. It's less than $10 a head. I don't remember the exact amount. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any objection from the council for waiving the fee for those few hours so that people can visit the National Frontier Trails Museum and the cabin?
I think that'd be a great idea. Thank you.
I think
Councilmember.
it'd give them a chance to see. A lot of them told me they hadn't been there for years and would like to take a little peek at it. They may not be compelled to pay the whole family come in, but maybe if they take a look at it and they really like it, they'll bring more tourists in or talk of it. Or if we ever have any kind of initiative to make changes or improvements, that they can say they've seen it. So I'd like for them to spend the day and enjoy the whole exhibit.
Very good. Thank you.
That's it.
Councilmember Perkins.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Councilman Huff.
Yes, so wondering, I've been watching the news a lot. Of course, all of us have on this coronavirus. I was just wondering or wanting to make sure, I know New York had a big deal about it. They're being prepared. I know that as a city employee for 35 years, I went through the NIMS and everything, which is natural disaster and management, incident management. I never did cover a medical or health thing like this. I was just wanting to make sure we're, making sure that we had everything in line in case that hopefully it never gets here, but you never know. It's spreading pretty quick.
It is, and actually, if the council will indulge, I did have 2 city staff members here that I wanted to present both to the council and for the public's benefit tonight, and that is our Acting Director of Health, Christina Heinen, and Deputy Fire Chief Mark Carrick. So Christina's team is looking at this from the prevention side. Deputy Chief Carrick's team would be looking at this from a response side in the event that we would need that. If they could both go ahead and come forward and speak to the council about that. While they are coming up, I do want to, because just like you, Councilmember Huff, I know I've heard from a lot of citizens who are concerned about this. We did make changes with the health department a few years ago. That was intended to streamline our response for events like this. So where emergency preparedness things that were in the health department are now in the emergency operations center at the fire department. Things that were duplicative with Jackson County, we're now employing those grants with the county, so that's actually bolstered our ability to be responsive for situations like this. So I'll go ahead and let Christina speak.
Hi, I'm Christina Heinen. I'm the acting health director for the City of Independence. This has been a big conversation amongst the Emergency Services Committee, the Board of Health. Everyone has been talking about it. The good news is, of course, we do have not only a continuity of operations plan for the city, but we have our local emergency operations plans in place. These are things that we've done exercise and drills for, well, I won't say a million times, but we've done them a lot. We are working close with Jackson County and their health department on making sure that points of dispensing are in place. The biggest thing for our area, in all honesty, and I'm sure you guys have heard it a million times, wash your hands. COVID-19, the coronavirus, is very easily killed because of its lipid layer by just simple soap and water. So if we can get people to wash their hands, to cough into their elbows, to take basic precautions. If you're sick, try to not go out. Try not to go directly to the doctor. It's something where unless it's an emergency, we don't want you out. For most people, it's going to feel like a simple cold. For those who have some pre-existing conditions or are older, it can be more serious, and those are the ones we want to make sure that we can protect. And the best way we can do that is by taking those simple precautions so that we don't pass it on. Wash your hands, don't touch your face, don't spread it. Chief Carrick, I don't know if he wants to talk more about our emergency operations plan and what they have planned, but there are very basic things. Right now, I think they announced today the 6th death in the U.S. We're right at 102 people who have tested positive in the U.S. I'm sure that a lot of people have heard it, but I'll say it again. Influenza has actually killed over 16,000 people in the U.S. this season alone. These are things that if you haven't gotten your flu shot, the best thing you can do to protect yourself from COVID-19 is get your flu shot, make sure you're as healthy as possible in the lead up, and you should be okay.
Thank you, Christina.
Mayor, members of the council,
My name is Mark Carrick, Deputy Fire Chief. I won't add a lot to what Christina said. Basically, we're doing everything she said that we should do as responders, making sure that we take all the precautions that are necessary to protect ourselves so that we can take care of the citizens. One of the things that we have specifically done in our department is just to go back and review all of our procedures that we have in place for infectious disease control. That helps us take care of ourselves. We've also done everything we can to make sure that we're supplied and stocked up with the materials necessary to go and do our jobs. And basically, it's business as usual for us as responders. From a emergency management standpoint, for the past couple of years, we've been working on our continuity of operations plan. Each department in the city is tasked with basically putting their plan together for how we will respond as a department to anything significant like this that might happen, whether it's a natural disaster or a pandemic in this case. All of those departments are in the process of wrapping that up. I think we're really close to having that plan completed. We've in the fire department specifically, we have gone through our entire operation, and we have a succession plan in place in the event of three things. If we have a facility that is taken out of service, that we can't access a facility, what do we do on a short-term basis? What if that happens on a long-term basis? We lose the ability to use some of our facilities. Those plans are in place. What do we do if we have, in the case of the pandemic possibility, what do we do in the case of a mass absence of personnel? And we've got all those contingency plans in place. If the fire chief can't function, who steps up into his place? If I can't function, who steps up into my place? And all the way down to the basic level. And paying the closest attention to the very vital basic services that we provide to the community, so that not only we can take care of ourselves and our families, but that we can make sure that we continue to provide the services that are so vital to our community.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Chiefs. Any questions? Yes.
I had one other thing. Deals with the first responders. Getting quite a few phone calls from first responders, fire department, police department. How are we coming with this payroll issue as far as figuring that out? I know a lot of them are pretty fired up about it. It sounds like more's been overpaid than underpaid, but just seeing how we was coming along with this. It's been about a month and getting a lot of feedback on it. Just wondering if we was progressing.
Yeah, continuing to meet, particularly with the representatives of both the IAFF and FOP. Also worked with some CWA representatives late last week as well, where particularly those positions associated with our public safety seem to be the ones where we need to continue to iron things out. It's by no means perfect yet, and I don't want to pretend like it is, but acknowledging that we are met with the team today, looking to bring in additional resources, outside experts to help us address the various nuances associated with our pay plans, where we have, we have overtime, we have standby pay, we have out-of-position pay, all these various add-ons to base pay that complicate it, but by no means is that to be an excuse. It's just we need to get additional resources in to help us navigate and put this to bed. Certainly payment's one of the most sacred trusts we have with our employees, and we've got to get that addressed in a timely fashion.
Yeah, you never mess with a person's money.
No.
Paycheck, but I just want to make sure we didn't have an 8-minute meeting today. So I'm done.
Councilmember DeLucy.
Nothing, thank you.
Councilman Robertson.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, we are in the process of planning our third annual HOA Summit for all the homeowners associations in Independence. We, as a city, don't have a direct relationship with any of those HOAs, but we want to have a cordial relationship and a relationship where we can share information. So we had about 39 different HOAs at our meeting last year, And we're planning tentatively to have it on March 25th, which is a Wednesday night, from 6 to 7:30. More information will be forthcoming. We don't have the total process locked down, and so I hesitate to announce everything. But plan, if you are involved with an homeowners association, plan on being here. It's going to probably be here at City Hall on March 25th from 6 to 7:30. And we'd love to have all the HOAs in Independence. I don't even know how many there are, but I know there's probably over 45 in Independence, and we'd like representatives from all of those HOAs to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Van Camp.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, one thing that's sort of been lingering out there that it's probably time to move forward on now that it seems like things are thawing out around here and spring seems to be on the horizon. And that is the installation of our electric vehicle charging stations. I believe the council has taken all the action necessary other than to select locations. So I would encourage the council, if you have locations in your district or for our at-large members, locations within the city that you would recommend that might be good for these electric vehicle charging stations. I think the key is for this initial deployment is have them in places where people need to stay a while, such as hotels, entertainment districts, grocery stores, those types of things. And obviously those locations will be dependent on access to available electricity. So there may be some tweaking, but I would really encourage everybody to think about those and get those recommendations to the city manager. This is important for a number of reasons. One, it's supported by our Independence for All strategic plan and our efforts to be the greenest city in America. We have these stations on hand and the opportunity to acquire more, and there's just no reason not to have them out in the community. These are not freebies. These are stations that we will be charging people to charge, just like, going to the gas station, except not that much. So, it's really a revenue generator for our city, and really encourages folks to think about purchasing an electric vehicle, visiting our city. These charging stations are mapped. If you own an electric vehicle, you know where you can stop and pick up a quick charge and sit down and have lunch on your cross-country trip across our great America. And so I really would like to see these moving along as soon as possible. So they're certainly in place for our summer tourism season, and people can see them in visible locations around our tourism sites and other lodging facilities and other places where people spend time in their city. So, Mr. City Manager, is there any other direction that you need from the council to proceed with this, other than finding recommendations for locations?
The council will need to approve probably in the month of April. City currently has an open solicitation for invitations to bid for installation of these.
Okay.
So council will need to decide awarding that, and need to work with the finance staff and the department to see, but may require an appropriations ordinance for purchase of these chargers as well.
More chargers, okay. How many do we have? Hang on just a second. How many do we have? I see. I'll get to you in a second. How many do we have on hand?
I believe we have 4 that have not been installed right now.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Councilman?
I spoke with one of the administrators over at the genealogy library when we were over there the other day, and he brought this subject up, that he'd had several calls from people who own the electric vehicles. They want to know when they come to town and they stay quite some time researching a family at this, if this place had chargers, or if they could recommend hotels that had chargers. So I know the doctors out at Centerpoint have asked to have some out there, and that's under works. But the genealogy library has requested that they could get some as well.
Very good, thank you. Mr. City Manager, anything else this evening?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
We are adjourned.
Did she give you an opportunity?
25.
Did she give you an
25.